and welcome. I'm Tracy Pa with the Midday News. The female division at Bomana Prison in Port Moresby was pleasantly surprised by a visit from Kinabank's finance team on Thursday, 7 November 2024. The team brought along a variety of gifts, including clothes, toiletries, water bottles, food and toys for toddlers living with their mothers in the facility. The finance team had raised funds through raffle draws, barbecue and contributed from their own pockets towards this cause. The visit and donation by the finance team is another staff-led initiative reflecting Kinabank's social responsibility and community spirit. The International Organization for Migration, with funding from the government of Japan in partnership with the national government, including the Enga provincial government, officially handed over critical medical equipment to enhance healthcare service delivery for communities impacted by the landslide that struck Mulitaka community in Enga province. The donated equipment will support essential health care services at the Mulitaka Health Center and Pokolip Aid Post, ensuring that healthcare providers can address the health needs of affected populations and improve the quality of care. These resources will help to support healthcare workers in providing life-saving treatments and preventive care to the local population. OCT Mining Limited announced a 2024 final dividend payment of $250 million to be paid in December. OTML has paid a total of $45 million in dividends in 2024. OTML Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer announced the payment during the company's 40th anniversary dinner. The company declared an interim dividend payment of $200 million earlier this year. OTML, since its 40-year operation, has contributed $13.4 billion in dividends to the company. The CEO said OCT Mine has changed over time, going from foreign owners to 100% Papua New Guinea owned and lead mine. The dividend payments demonstrate that the business has been well managed. He said the company's new research restored strategy is restructuring the company's operations, performance and productivity. OTML looks forward to continued successful operations while delivering on its commitment to the people of Western Province and Papua New Guinea. In regional news, there has been several important studies on the effects of cannabis recently. Some are reassuring, others may not be when it comes to academic performance or brain function. Given 1/3 of Australians have used cannabis at least once, and the medical cannabis market has been growing reasonably quickly, the safety of cannabis is a major public health issue.
Studies, so it gives us an insight into medical headlines and so on and scares. So the two studies that were good news were really well conducted studies in the United States following large numbers of women, over 100,000 women and their offspring, and measuring cannabis levels in their urine. And this is the issue of when you're of childbearing age, you might be pregnant without knowing it in the first few weeks, and you might take a drug. You might take alcohol, you might take tobacco, or you might take cannabis. And the question is that some people have raised, does this affect the development of your child? So they looked at two outcomes following these children through, large numbers, and looking at autism spectrum disorder in babies of mothers who'd had cannabis early in pregnancy, and developmental delay. And comfortingly, didn't show either problem. So we're not encouraging the use of cannabis during pregnancy, but if you happen to use it in early pregnancy without knowing that you're pregnant, it doesn't look as though that's going to be a disaster for your baby at all. So that's good news in a well-conducted study. The other two studies, one was the use of cannabis in adolescents and young people to see whether it affects their academic achievement. So there have been some studies which suggested that if you use cannabis, cannabis actually reduces your motivation and you don't do well at school when you drop out of university and what have you. So this study brought together all the research in this area to see what the sum total of knowledge was. And at first sight, it looked as though cannabis use, and the higher the cannabis use, the more likely was the young person to drop out of school, absenteeism, dropping out of university, not achieving the results that they were expected to. However, when you corrected for the person themselves, it turns out that the young person who's using a lot of cannabis is not the same as other kids. They've got more issues, more mental health issues, more problems in life, and that could well be the cause of their poor academic achievement. And as a sidebar, they're using more cannabis, perhaps to, they think, treat or help ameliorate their mental health issue, which it doesn't do. So the cannabis is just a bystander in this. And the problem here is that if you focus on the cannabis use, you're missing the child or the young person who needs help.
In sports, New Zealand, New Caledonia, Tahiti and Fiji have secured semi-final spots for the FIFA World Cup 26 Oceania qualifiers in Washington, New Zealand next year. The winner and runner-up of the semi-finals advance to represent Oceania at the 2026 FIFA World Cup.
New Zealand, without doubt, has advanced to the FIFA World Cup 26 Oceania qualifier after whitewashing a gallant Samoa 8-0 in the final Group B match on Monday.
He got a touch on it far too, but
the win qualifies New Zealand to face Group A runners-up Fiji in the semi-finals next March. The New Zealand Whites dominated from the outset against their largely amateur opponents, Samoa, who found a strong, resilient defense difficult to break down. Samoa couldn't hold on to a more lanky and skillful New Zealand side, going down without a fight. In the other Group B match, defensive resilience paid dividends for Tahiti, who beat Vanuatu.
yes, it's 2-0.
At Auckland's Go Media Stadium to qualify for the semi-finals. Needing to score 3 times in the last quarter, Vanuatu continued to press, but Tahiti's defensive held firm, and they can now look forward to a trip to Wellington in March in the other semi-final clash against Group A winner New Caledonia. Susan Oreape, TVWAN Sports.
How Kingston Rovers have signed one of Papua New Guinea's most promising teenagers, halfback junior Bini Kaeka, joining the Super League club on a 5-year contract as part of Rovers' partnership with the Kumul's leading club. Rovers revealed earlier this year that they had established a talent development pathway with top Papua New Guinean side Port Moresby Vipers, with a goal to bring some of their promising talent to England. And the first player in that system has now agreed to make the move to Rovers for 2025 with Central Province-led Kaeka. He will train with Rovers in the academy while also continuing his academic studies in England. Rovers confirmed earlier this year that the pathway would allow for the opportunity for 2 players from the Vipers Academy to sign with Rovers' own academy system and turn out for their under-18 team. That means there is the prospect of 1 more player joining Kaeka in England in 2025. And that ends our midday news. To join us at 6 for more.